even though I'm still in my 20s, there have been seasons in my life where I look back and say, dang, if only I did something different with the money that I had. Hey, homegirl or homeboy, I am Kiani, the Responsible Homegirl, and welcome to the Responsible Homegirl YouTube channel where I share financial education to help you stop wasting your money and become financially responsible. I don't know about you, but January was giving very much 30-day free trial. It was slow, it was, restful. For me, it was. If you have not been locked in on your finances, it's okay. In February, we are facing our finances. So this is the time for you to go ahead and grab that pen, grab that pad, and lock in because we got things to do. In this video, I'm going to be telling you about 4 money mistakes that you need to avoid in 2025. Now, we started this year saying that last year was going to be our last year being financially irresponsible. That's cool. That's all good. I just want to make sure that me and you are still on the same page, the same type of timing. So let's talk about these 4 mistakes that you need to avoid. Mistake number 1, not having financial goals. We have to face our finances. When we face our finances, we get a full picture of where we are right now financially, and then we're able to take a step back and think about, where do I want to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and then make decisions that are in alignment with your goals. So let's talk about right now, like, what do you need to do? I want you to pull out a blank sheet of paper and go through all of your different accounts. So if you have multiple bank accounts, what do you have in all of your checking accounts, your savings accounts? If you have a high yield savings account, what's in that? If you have an investment account, do you have a brokerage account, a Roth IRA, a 401k? What do you have in those accounts? Who do you owe? Let's look at your debts. Do you have credit card debt? Do you have student loan debt? Do you have a car loan? Do you have a house loan? What do you have? You need to look and see who you owe. So getting a full financial picture of where you are right now. And then once you're able to look at those numbers, it's time for you to reflect and say, okay, this is where I am. Where do I want to be a year, 5 years, 10 years from now? And I'm not saying that you have to attack. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's not wise to attack all of those financial goals at one time. But kind of figure out what's most important to you, set some financial goals, and let that be your guiding factor. Most of the time we get money, we work hard, we get paid, and then we just want to do whatever we want to do with our money. And y'all know I always say Dr. Miles Monroe, he's one of my favorite teachers. He says, if you don't have vision, you'll do anything with your life. I put a little Responsible Homegirl twist on it, and I say, if you don't have vision for your finances, you'll do anything with your money. Play the long game. So that's the first money mistake that you need to avoid, not setting financial goals. Take some time, think about where you are right now, not even think about it. Go get the proof. Look through all your accounts and write down where you are right now, and then think about where you would like to be years from now, and then set your financial goals and make decisions that are in alignment. Number 2, and y'all, my arm is being weird because I am actually really, really sore. That's one thing I hate about the gym. I love the results, but I hate the soreness. We got to figure this out. But anyways, number 2, the second money mistake that you need to avoid is not budgeting. I don't care how much money you make. I'm going to say that again. I do not care how much money you make. You need to budget your money. And I know we hate the B word. We hate feeling restrictive. We hate taking the time to write our numbers down and plan how we're going to use our money. But I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Your budget is simply your financial GPS. You make the money, so you have to tell your money where to go. Your money craves direction. Craves it. I kind of relate it to a child. Sometimes we think children don't like structure. They don't like the discipline. They don't want it. They might not want it, but they need it. And it's the same thing with your money. Your money might not want that structure. It might not want that discipline, but it needs it. Because if you don't give it structure, if you don't give it discipline, if you don't give it direction, it's going to go everywhere. You are literally going to let that money sit in your checking account, and it's going to chill until you get ready to spend it. So it'll be at Amazon, Chick-fil-A, Walmart, Target, all of these different places. And then 10 years from now, you're looking back like, dang, I was working so hard and I have absolutely nothing to show for it. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Because even though I'm still in my 20s, there have been seasons in my life where I look back and say, dang, if only I did something different with the money that I had. I think back to the times where I was in college getting five, six, $7,000 refund checks, and I spent it on Forever 21, getting my nails done, turning up, eating out. Like, yes, it was very helpful for me at the time, but I spent money on a lot of nonsense. And that is what most of us are doing to this day. And I can confidently say most of us, because when I share our next money lesson, you're going to see if 60% of Americans don't have $1,000 saved, where's the money going? It's not going in your savings. It's going to bills and having a good time. So I really want you to adopt this mindset of budgeting. Every single time you get paid, you should budget. Every single time you get paid, you should budget. The way that you budget, you list your income, then you list your expenses, and you divide your money into 4 categories. I call this using money as a tool. And the way that you use money as a tool, for short, I remember it as SSIG. The first S stands for save, the second S stands for spend, the I stands for invest, and the G stands for give. And the goal is to have a balance between all 4 categories. So when you get paid, list your income, list your expenses, and then ask yourself those 4 questions. What am I saving this pay period? What am I spending this pay period? What am I investing this pay period? And what am I giving this pay period? Save, spend, invest, give. And that's how you budget. So you are simply making a plan for how you will use your money instead of just letting your money chill in an account and wait for you to spend it. Our first money mistake to avoid, not setting financial goals. Our second money mistake to avoid is not budgeting. Now, our third money mistake to avoid is not saving. Like I said earlier, about 60% of Americans do not have $1,000 saved for an emergency. But did you know if you save $20 every single week, by the end of the year, you will have over $1,000 saved? And $20 may seem so small, so minute, but the small things add up. You cannot afford to not save. Because let me tell you what happens when you don't save. Something pops up and then you have to pick up the phone, call a friend, call a family member to borrow money, or you swipe that credit card, and anytime you are putting yourself in debt, you are taking money away from your future self. So saving needs to be a priority. I would start off with saving for that emergency fund, fully funding that emergency fund. Start off with the goal being $1,000. And then after you get that first 1K, look at, okay, how much will I need for 3 to 6 months of an emergency fund? And it might take you years to fully fund that. And that's okay. We're not running a race. We're not trying to rush and get to a place. No, we're just trying to consistently save. So in the event that something happens, we're prepared. We're not stressed out. We're not, let's say we're not stressed out. We're not just, Mr. Krabs meme. Like when Mr. Krabs, everything is just going crazy around him and he's just like in the middle of it all. Money can be very stressful, but if you're prepared, it takes a different toll on you. It may be an inconvenience, but it's not going to hit you as hard because you're prepared. So make sure you prioritize your savings this year. I always say pay yourself first. I learned about this concept in this book I read called The Automatic Millionaire. And it's so smart. Like, don't put your savings on the back burner. When you get paid, you need to treat yourself like a bill, and you are the first bill that you pay. For me, because I'm a believer, I pay my tithes first. And after I pay my tithes, I'm paying myself. And then I pay my bills. There is not a world where I am paying T-Mobile or I'm paying my car payment and, something comes up and I can pick up the phone and call them and ask them for the money. No, they don't care. But if I save consistently and put money into an account, if an emergency comes up, then I get to lean on and depend on the money that I've set aside in that account just for this purpose. So make sure you prioritize your savings this year. Like I said before, you cannot afford to not save. And saving as little as $20 every single week will get you ahead of the pack and well on your way to building a fully funded emergency fund. So our last and final money mistake to avoid in 2025 is thinking small. You do not have to settle for your current financial situation. Whatever you are going through right now financially, if you don't like it, you do not have to settle for it. But it all starts in your mind. Ooh, it hurts so bad to put my arm up. It all starts in your mind. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your perspective. And your money mindset is one thing that you're going to always be working on, always going to be evolving. And honestly, it's something that even me as a responsible homegirl, I am still always working on my money mindset because we have things that are deeply rooted in us from childhood that still impact us today. One that I always share is I love my mom to death. Like, I believe that I get most of my work ethic, my entrepreneurialism, is that a word? Entrepreneurism? My just everything. I get that from her because growing up, we saw her in the salon working morning, noon, and night. We saw her putting her creative hat on and hosting hair and fashion shows and doing car and bike shows and hosting parades. And she was just always using her mind to create what was in her head and just see it manifest in real life. So we saw our mama working consistently and making great money, but we, on the other side of that, we saw her spending a lot of money. So subconsciously, my belief was, okay, I work hard for this money, I can spend this money. Not having an appreciation and value for the money by saving, by investing, by putting things to the side. And all of that stuff is so important. So sometimes you kind of have to trace back to your childhood and think about, what have I seen grown up? What is kind of just, in the back of my mind subconsciously that I believe that is stopping me from getting to the next level. So when it comes to thinking small, it's not just like, just playing small and settling, but you might have to reflect a little bit on your past and make some changes. You have the ability and the power to change your financial situation. And some of the things that have really helped me with changing my money mindset and not playing and thinking small is reading books, listening to podcasts, and just getting exposed to what is out there. One of the books that I recently read, I read it like at the end of 2024, was You Are a Bad A at Making Money. I wish I had it pulled out so I can show you, but it's by Jen Sincera. I'll link it in the description as well. And then I read Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. That was another great book that helped me with my money mindset. And I always have a podcast in rotation. I always have a YouTube video in rotation that is literally just helping me with my beliefs. Why do I believe what I believe? And how can I switch it up and make it different? So thinking small, it might not seem like a money mistake to avoid, but I promise you, everything that you want to create, it starts internally first and then you see it externally. So if you got trash and just stuff going on in your head that is not serving you well, that's going to be reflected on the outside. Outward success is a reflection of inward mastery. So make sure you got your inside clean. Make sure you got your mindset together and you are thinking the right way about money, and you understand that you have the power to change your financial situation. One of my scriptures for the year my scripture for the year is Proverbs 4:23 in the easy to read version. And it says, above all, be careful what you think, because your thoughts control your life. And I have it on my lock screen, and it's just a constant reminder to challenge my thoughts, to be thinking about what I'm thinking about. And if what I'm thinking about is not in alignment with where I'm going, what I desire for my life, what I want to create, then it's BS. It's a whole lie that I just need to shut down immediately and think about a new thought. I hope that I said that right. I hope it makes sense. But it's just, sometimes we need those reminders to just be careful about what we're thinking about, because our thoughts control our life. So those are the 4 money mistakes that I want you to avoid in 2025. Number 1, not setting financial goals. Number 2, not budgeting. Number 3, not saving. And then 4, thinking small. So if this video was helpful for you, make sure you share it with one of your homegirls or a homeboy, and stay tuned for everything that I have for you coming this year. Drop in the comments what stood out to you most and what money mistake you are going to be sure to avoid in 2025, so that last year was your last year being financially irresponsible. Thank you so much for watching, and always remember, with exposure, execution, and consistency, there is nothing you can't do. See you in the next video.